During my years in high school, playing football was my main extracurricular activity. Now, you guys would have heard of Mr. Barr in my video about adopting a beginner's mindset. And today I want to talk about a saying he used to drill into us year 9s and 10s during meetings, trainings, and even game days as well. It was 2 words: discipline and commitment. Those were the 2 values he used to preach, the foundations upon which our team were built. But after some deeper thought in analyzing these 2 values, it made me realize that these are just more than values that work on the pitch, but more so they are values that can be applied to all aspects of life. For example, for a young man trying to work himself up, these 2 values may be the most important for long-term success. So today I'm going to talk about discipline and commitment and why these 2 values are extremely useful for young men and how they can help you become the man that you want to be. Now I want to touch upon motivation because everybody talks about motivation, but motivation is honestly the most unreliable thing that you can build your life on. The people who actually change their lives don't rely on motivation at all, really. Yeah, it's nice to have, however, they rely much more on these 2 values, which are discipline and commitment. They may be a whole lot less exciting, but they're a lot more powerful. And the truth of the matter is that in today's day and age with motivation, is that most people are waiting to feel motivated to do anything. They wait to feel ready to start working out, they wait to feel inspired to start their business, or they wait to feel disciplined before they start changing their habits. But you guys need to remember that motivation is an emotional state, and emotions are unreliable and they change constantly. One day you might feel unstoppable, the next day you might be in bed for 6 to 7 hours doing nothing. Psychologist Angela Duckworth, who studies grit and long-term success, talks about how high performers aren't the most motivated, but they're the most consistent in how they show up, whether they feel like it or not. That's where discipline starts. So when I say discipline, what do I mean exactly? So discipline isn't really punishment. A lot of people think that discipline means forcing yourself to suffer, but real discipline is actually a lot simpler than you think. It's just doing the thing that you said that you were going to do, even when you don't feel like doing it. That's it. That includes going to the gym when you feel tired, working on your goals when you'd rather scroll on TikTok or Instagram, getting up early in the morning as well when staying in bed feels a whole lot better and more comfortable. It's not really sexy or dramatic, but it's actually pretty boring, but it works. It's important to realize that discipline alone isn't going to be enough. It can only carry you so far. This is because discipline is something that you use in the moment, and that's where commitment comes in. Commitment is something that you decide once, and it changes how you live. It changes how you think. Like, think about it logically for a second. If you take somebody who's committed to their health, going to the gym isn't really a debate every day. They just go up and they do it. It kind of removes the negotiation from your mind. Commitment also changes identity too, which is a big shift that a lot of people miss. When you commit to something, you're not just choosing an action over another. It goes a whole lot deeper than that. You're choosing an identity. You're basically telling yourself that I'm the type of person that does this, whatever that may be. I'm someone who trains. I'm someone with integrity. I'm someone who finishes what they start. And once that identity starts forming, discipline becomes a whole lot easier because you've removed the need for motivation. At that point, it's not even about motivation anymore. It's about who you are. Now, another problem is that a lot of people live in this kind of weird middle zone. We'll call it half commitment. You can call it a void, if you will, where they kind of want to change their life. They kind of want to start. They kind of want the results, but they never fully commit. So essentially, every day becomes like a negotiation for them. Should I work out today? Should I focus on my goals today? Should I stick to my diet today or have a cheat day? And when every single decision requires willpower, eventually you will lose, which is why commitment is such a powerful tool. It just removes the questioning. Something important to realize is that discipline is built through small promises. So one thing that helped me understand discipline a lot better is realizing that it's built through very small promises, not huge life-changing decisions. Tiny agreements with yourself. I'll work out for 20 minutes today. I'll write 1 page of that book. I'll stay consistent this week, just for this week. Every time that you keep a promise to yourself, it strengthens your discipline. And every time you break a promise with yourself, it slowly weakens it. And over time, you'll realize is that the more you follow through with those promises, you create more trust within yourself and the ability to achieve anything that you set your mind to, because you have the foundational values for success in your toolkit. And moving on from that, talking about consistency, the funny thing about discipline and commitment is that they don't look really impressive in the moment. It's just someone doing the same things over and over again. But that's how transformation actually happens. James Clear talks about this phenomenon in Atomic Habits. Like, small actions repeated daily create massive results over time. A single workout won't change your body, but 500 workouts will. One good decision doesn't change your life, but thousands of them will. And that compound effect is real. But you need to be patient in order to get the best results. Remember that hard days are what actually counts. Anybody can stay disciplined when things are going well. If you feel motivated, or when you see visible progress. When life feels super easy and it's like you've got it all figured out, it just feels like you can do anything. But the real test comes when the opposite of that happens. When you're tired as hell, when you don't want to get up, when nothing seems to be improving no matter how much you try. Especially when you feel like quitting. Those are the days that build the person that you are becoming, your character. Because discipline on the easy days is nice, but it's the discipline on the hard days that changes your life. You see who you truly are and what you're capable of during those days. And a final point I want to touch upon is that discipline actually creates freedom. Now, this sounds backward, but it's actually true. The more disciplined that you become, the more freedom you have. Take financial freedom, for example. It requires disciplined saving and investing. Physical freedom requires disciplined health habits. Creative freedom requires disciplined practice. Without discipline, you slowly become controlled by bad habits, distractions, and short-term choices. You do not want to be a slave to instant gratification. Discipline gives you control, and control is power. So at the end of the day, discipline and commitment aren't glamorous. There's no viral moment, no overnight success. It's just someone quietly doing the work, day after day. But if you zoom out over 5 years, those small disciplined actions compound into a completely different life. So if there's one idea that I want you guys to take away from this, is that you need to stop waiting for motivation. Make the commitment and let discipline carry you forward. Because the life that you want isn't necessarily built in the big moments, but more so it's built day by day in those small decisions that you stay disciplined to. As always, I appreciate you guys stopping in and watching the video today. If you liked the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing for more content like this. Also, if you think that someone else could benefit from this kind of message, please share the video with them. Remember to stay hungry. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.